Back on May 10th, when I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered, we talked about this story here of lawmakers, African-American lawmakers reintroducing the Crown Act. Okay, the Crown Act. And this fights discrimination against African-American hairstyles. There was a article from thehill.com that deals with this. And I was going through really researching this topic. But we'll see how far I can get with this. So we remember that they tried to get the Crown Act passed before it passed the House of Representatives. Mostly Republicans voted against it. I think only 14 Republicans voted for it. It died in the Senate. Let's look at this from thehill.com. Black lawmakers reintroduce bill to ban hair discrimination. This is from May 1st, 2024 by Cheyenne Daniels for thehill.com. And Representative Bonnie Watts Coleman, Democrat from New Jersey, she's one of the ones spearheading this. Let's see. Representative Bonnie Watts Coleman and Senator Cory Booker gathered outside the Capitol with fellow lawmakers as well as Adjo Asamo, co-founder of the Crown Coalition, and announced in the Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act, or the Crown Act. Okay. Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act. Now, this also, the Crown Act also deals with economic opportunity, fighting racism. It deals with school discipline issues and civil rights also. Bonnie Watson Coleman, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, said the lawmakers were reintroducing the bill for the simple reason that nobody, no worker, no student, no person should ever face discrimination because of how their hair grows out of their head, end quote. We cannot control the texture of our hair any way that we can't control the texture of our hair any way that we can control the color of our skin, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman said. And yet, Black Americans routinely face discrimination simply because of the way their hair is. Now, a 2020 study from the year 2020 from Michigan State University and Duke Universities found that African-American women with natural hair are often perceived as less professional and less competent than African-American women with straightened hair or white women with straight or curly hair. Let me repeat that. A 2020 study from Michigan State University and Duke University found that African-American women with natural hair are often perceived as less professional and less competent than African-American women with straightened hair or white women with straightened or curly hair. They are also less likely to be referred for job interviews. Okay, so this has an economic impact also. They are also less likely to be referred for job interviews. More than 20% of Black women have been sent home from work because of their hair. 1/3 of Black women under the age of 40 believe they have been denied a job interview because of their hair. Quote, our hair plays a significant role in our overall well-being, self-esteem, cultural identity, and personal expression, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman said. Discrimination against Black hair is discrimination against Black people. Discrimination against Black hair is discrimination against Black people, and we're going to put a stop to it, end quote. Now, the Crown Act would prohibit discrimination based on the individual's texture of hair or hairstyle that is coiled or tightly curled or in locks, cornrows, twists, braids, bantu knots, afros, and any other style of hair commonly associated with a race or national origin in the definition of racial discrimination. Nobody should face harassment. Nobody should face harassment or discrimination based on their natural hair. And the Crown Act is an effort to heal a systemic bias that tells Black people that who they inherently are is wrong, Senator Cory Booker said. Prejudice against Black hair demeans an important foundation of our identity and cultural heritage, he continued. It's time that the long and storied history of implicit and explicit biases against natural hair comes to an end. Black hair is beautiful in all of its forms and styles, and we must ensure individuals are free to express their cultural identities without fear of prejudice or bias. So then they go on to talk about Representative Stephen Horsford, who's chair of the Congressional Black Caucus as well. And let me see. I'm just looking at here some comments. We know, okay. They talk about anti-Blackness. Representative Asamoah, co-founder of the Crown Coalition. Adoja B. Asamoah, co-founder of the Crown Coalition. Yeah, Representative Asamoah. Let's see. Let's look at this comment here. They talk about Daryl George, the African-American male Texas student who was suspended from school because of the length of his locks. Representative Asamoah, co-founder of the Crown Coalition, said that hair discrimination is based on Eurocentric beauty standards and as such is anti-Black. Now, this also deals with issues of African-American children being disciplined more in school. On page 3 of this article, while Black students are disciplined at a rate 4 times higher than any other racial or ethnic group, research has found that 70% of all suspensions are discretionary, with many stemming from dress code violations, including unapproved hairstyles. Okay, that's what this talks about right here. Black students are disciplined at a rate 4 times higher than any other racial or ethnic group. So this deals with school discipline. This deals with economic opportunities. This is wide ranging. This Crown Act and hair discrimination is wide ranging, the negative impact that it has on African Americans. Now, the Federal Crown Act would provide research, statistics, and precedent to support that there is a need to define and prohibit hair discrimination in the workplace and in schools, in order to enforce the protection of civil rights, in order to enforce the protection of civil rights. It would also provide clear definitions that describe enforcement mechanisms of the bill. Now, Representative Ayanna Pressley, Democrat from Massachusetts, emphasized that the Crown Act is also a public health act due to the health issues that African American women face from chemicals applied to their hair in order to assimilate. The Crown Act is also a public health act due to the health issues African American women face from chemicals applied to their hair in order to assimilate. But she added, it's also about sending a message to Black Americans everywhere that they belong. She said, whether you are a student in the classroom, an employee in the workplace, or the next Supreme Court justice, you belong everywhere exactly as you are. Okay, so read this piece here from thehill.com dealing with the Crown Act. Black lawmakers reintroduce bill to ban hair discrimination. This is from May 1st, 2024. CNN.com also has a piece on this as well, because I looked at numerous articles on this. I want to go to this story here from let's look at the one from Reuters.com. We may look at the one from CNN also. There's another one from CNN. There's probably three more articles we'll look at. One from CNN is from October 22nd, 2022. When it comes to their hair, Black women face a difficult choice. But let's look at this one from Reuters.com. Now, this is from November 4th, 2023. November 4th, 2023. Thousands of Black women claim hair relaxers gave them cancer. And there's a class action lawsuit that has been filed. Let's pull this one up. Thousands of Black women claim hair relaxers gave them cancer. This is from Reuters.com. So they talk about Sheila Bush, who's a cosmetologist. And let me pull up this article. It says she was lounging in the recliner at her St. Louis area home last winter in 2022 when an advertisement from a law firm flashed up on her television screen, urging viewers to call a toll-free number if they or a loved one had used hair relaxers and been diagnosed with uterine cancer. Okay. Hair relaxers, had used hair relaxers and had been diagnosed with uterine cancer. And I saw here in Detroit, I saw commercials from attorneys about this also. After seeing the ad 3 times, Sheila Bush, who said she had used hair relaxers every 6 weeks for most of her life and was diagnosed with uterine cancer about a decade ago, decided to pick up the phone. And Here's a picture of Sheila Bush here. The ads that Sheila Bush saw on television, as well as on her social media feeds, were part of a nationwide effort by law firms to sign up Black women to file lawsuits alleging at least a dozen cosmetic companies, including L'Oreal and Revlon, sold hair relaxers containing chemicals that increased the risk of developing uterine cancer and failed to warn customers. Now, the recruitment campaign launched in October 2022, days after a U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, U.S. National Institutes of Health study found an association, though not a causal link, but an association between frequent use of chemical hair relaxers and uterine cancer. Okay, this study from the U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, found an association between frequent use of chemical hair relaxers and uterine cancer. Hair straighteners such as L'Oreal's Dark and Lovely, which we've seen advertised in the African American community for decades, Dark and Lovely, and Revlon's Creme of Nature are marketed overwhelmingly to women of color, according to the lawsuits, especially African American women. Some of the ads show Black women applying hair products before cutting to a summary of the National Institutes of Health Studies findings. Now, L'Oreal and Revlon told Reuters their products are subject to rigorous safety reviews. The companies noted that the authors of the NIH study said they did not draw definitive conclusions about the cause of the women's cancers, and that more research is warranted. Okay, so they have the statement here. We do not believe the science supports a link between chemical hair straighteners or relaxers and cancer, Revlon said. L'Oreal added that it is committed to offering the best products, quote, for all skin and hair types, all genders, blah, 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 etc. Now, let me look at my notes here just a second. Now, the cases face hurdles in addition to potential limitations of the NIH study. But the cases face hurdles in addition to the potential limitations of the NIH study. Plaintiffs are suing multiple companies, and if women lack receipts, they may struggle to provide evidence that they used specific products. Attorney Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of George Floyd, and another lawyer, Deandra Fu DeBrose Zimmerman, filed the first hair relaxer lawsuit on behalf of a Missouri woman named Jenny Mitchell shortly after the NIH study was published. Since then, more than 7,000 similar lawsuits have been filed by many plaintiffs' lawyers. More than 7,000 similar lawsuits have been filed. The cases have been consolidated in a Chicago federal court as part of a multi-district litigation proceeding, a procedure designed to more efficiently manage lawsuits filed in multiple jurisdictions. Even though the legal claims asserted in the lawsuits don't allege racial discrimination, attorney Benjamin Crump says the cases should be viewed as essentially civil rights issues, For Black women, quote, it's projected on them that they have to live up to some kind of European standard of beauty. Attorney Benjamin Crump, who represents plaintiffs in high-profile racial discrimination cases and is a regular on cable news, said in an interview. Now, Sheila Bush is now 69 years old. She told Reuters about being mocked by white children in the schoolyard of her St. Louis school for her quote-unquote cotton hair, a common derogatory term used for black hair texture. She said, quote, "You felt as though you did not belong or weren't as good as they were," Sheila Bush said, who was born in 1954, the same year as the landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision Brown versus Board of Education, which found racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional. Now, the vast majority of the plaintiffs are women of color, according to Jane Conroy, a lawyer whose firm has filed at least 550 hair relaxer cases, adding that attorneys don't have full demographic data of their clients. Now, the cases come at a time when Black people are increasingly embracing natural hairstyles. At least 23 states have passed legislation aimed at protecting people from hair discrimination in the workplace and public schools. The U.S. House of Representatives passed similar legislation in 2022 that stalled in the Senate. That was the Crown Act. Women are taking now, uterine cancer is the most common form of female reproductive system cancer and rising in the U.S., especially among African-American women, according to the National Institutes of Health, the NIH. The American Cancer Society estimates there will be about 66,000 new cases of uterine cancer diagnosed this year in the United States, less than a quarter of the number of 297,790 new cases of invasive breast cancer and more than 3 times the 19,710 cases of ovarian cancer. The NIH study of more than 33,000 women found that those who reported using hair straightener products more than 4 times in the previous year were more than twice as likely to develop uterine cancer as those who did not. Let me repeat this. The NIH study of more than 33,000 women found that those who reported using hair straightening products more than 4 times in the previous year were more than twice as likely to develop uterine cancer as those who did not. A total of 378 women in the study developed uterine cancer. Black women use the products more frequently than others, the study found. African American women use the products more frequently than any other group of women the study found. All right, read this here. Read the rest of this article. They also go on to talk about formaldehyde, which is a carcinogen and is used in some of these products. The U.S. There was a ban on formaldehyde. It was used. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration plans to propose next April, which would be April 2024, a rule that would ban formaldehyde and formaldehyde-releasing chemicals from hair straightening products. So I'm not sure if that ban is going into effect yet. An agency spokesperson provided no further details on timing. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen and has been linked to nasopharyngeal cancer and leukemia, according to the World Health Organization, the WHO. The NIH study said phthalates and the other chemicals are suspected endocrine disruptors, which can interfere with the body's hormones and are suspected of contributing to cancer risks. That deals with the endocrine system, okay? And these are endocrine disruptors. All right, so read the rest of this article here from Reuters.com. Thousands of Black women claim hair relaxers gave them. Thousands of Black women claim hair relaxers gave them cancer. Okay, so check out that article here from Reuters.com. Then there was one from NBCnews.com dealing with what Black women should know about hair relaxers and their health. Okay, let's look at this quickly here. So I went through and read all these articles, but I don't have time to get through all the information here. All right, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a like on this broadcast. How you all like this type of information? If you like this type of information, be sure to support the African History Network, and you can support us through Cash App or PayPal, but also register for the online history classes that I teach on Saturdays and Sundays. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. What Black women should know about hair relaxers and their health. This is from October 18th, 2023, from NBCnews.com by Claretta Bellamy. Doctors explain why relaxers can be so harmful and what can people do if they think their hair straightening regimen has contributed to poor health. So they talk about another study here. I think they talk about two studies. And they talk about research from Boston University. Several landmark studies have been published in the last year, highlighting the link between chemical hair relaxers, which break down proteins in hair to straighten it, and increased rates of uterine cancer. And last week, after pressure from Democratic reps Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts and Chantel Brown of Ohio, the Food and Drug Administration proposed a ban on hair smoothing and hair straightening products containing formaldehyde, an ingredient known to cause cancer. As more research continues to reveal potential dangers, hundreds of Black women have filed lawsuits against big-name beauty and cosmetic retailers like L'Oreal and Revlon, blaming their chemical hair straighteners as causes of uterine cancer, fibroid tumors, and infertility. The latest research on the effects of hair relaxers was published on October 10th, 2023 by Boston University. According to the Black Women's Health Study, or BWHS, postmenopausal Black women who have used chemical hair relaxers more than twice a year or for more than 5 years have an increased risk of developing uterine cancer. In the following, 44,798 Black women the study followed 44,798 Black women for up to 22 years. Researchers found a higher rate of uterine cancer among postmenopausal African American women who reporting having used chemical hair relaxers for at least 10 years, regardless of frequency. Okay, regardless of frequency. Better grasping Black health and the factors that contribute to racial disparities in cancer was the intent behind the 22-year study. Let me go to this quote here. To Representative Ayanna Pressley, oversight into these ingredients touches upon generational issues that Black women have long grappled with. For generations, systemic racism and anti-Black hair sentiment have forced Black women to navigate the extreme politicization of hair. We've seen this play out in schools and in the workplace, where Black folks have been criminalized, punished, or overlooked in personnel decisions just for how our hair grows out of our head. As a result, Black women have turned to straightened or relaxed hair as an attempt to advance socially and economically. As a result, Black women have turned to straightened or relaxed hair as an attempt to advance socially and economically. But regardless of how we wear our hair, we should be able to show up in the world without putting our health at risk, and manufacturers should be prevented from making a profit at the expense of our health. Okay, so it goes on to talk about what has the research said about chemical hair relaxers and women's health so far. Several studies have found that chemical hair straighteners have harmful effects on the body. They talk about the study from the National Institutes of Health. And then they go on, let's see. Why are hair relaxers so harmful? Why are hair relaxers so harmful? Chemical hair relaxers can contain endocrine disrupting chemicals. Here we are again talking about the endocrine system. Endocrine disrupting chemicals, which can disrupt the functions of the endocrine system, which include the thyroid, ovaries, pancreas, and adrenal glands. They can also affect hormonal levels. These chemicals include phthalates and parabens, which can be found in hair relaxers. People can be exposed to them by absorption through the skin or inhaling them in the air. Absorption through the skin or inhaling them in the air. All right, read the rest of this article here from NBCnews.com. Excellent article. This is actually NBC News Black, which is their African American platform. What Black women should know about hair relaxers and their health. This is from October 18th, 2023. All right, and then also CNN has this article called "When It Comes to Their Hair, Black women face a difficult choice." You can take a look at this. This is from October 22nd, 2022. Another excellent article on this topic. And this deals with the effects of racism. Racism is a system of advantage and privilege distributed based upon race, which comes out of the ideology of European white supremacy. This deals with understanding racism and how it manifests itself and how it affects the health of African American women and what things that hurt African American women hurt us in general, hurt the African American family in general, how it impacts us economically, hair discrimination, discipline of African American students in school, all of this. When it comes to their hair, Black women face a difficult choice. This is from CNN.com, October 22nd, 2022, by Faith Creme. Page 2 of this article, the findings follow a similar, let's see, so they talk about some Black women say they feel social and economic pressure to straighten their hair. Some Black women say they feel social and economic pressure to straighten their hair. The research published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, found a connection between using certain hair straighteners, such as chemical relaxers and pressing products, and an increased risk of uterine cancer, the most common cancer of the female reproductive system. The association between the hair straightening products and uterine cancer cases was most pronounced for Black women, who made up 7.4% of the study participants, but almost 60% of those who reported ever using hair straighteners. Almost 60% of those who ever reported using hair straighteners. The findings follow a similar study in 2019 that linked the use of permanent hair dye and chemical hair straighteners to a higher risk of breast cancer. That was a 2019 study. I read about that one also. I remember when that came out. The risk was more than 6 times higher for Black women. So this 2019 study linked the usage of permanent hair dye and chemical hair straighteners to a higher risk of breast cancer. Experts say several factors lead women to use hair straightening products, including Eurocentric standards of beauty and a desire for versatility in changing hairstyles and self-expression. All right, read the rest of this article also. Another excellent article on this topic. When it comes to their hair, Black women face a difficult choice. All right, look, we're going to get out of here. Hey, if you'd like this type of information, support the African History Network, $ the TheAHNShow through Cash App. How'd you all like this show today? How'd you like this type of information? Give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a like on the broadcast. Be sure to register for the online classes that I teach. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We have the information there. As soon as you register, you can start watching the content. Join us in our next class. And be sure to support us through PayPal or Cash App. So we definitely need your support. This helps us keep doing the research, pay for these services that I use, pay for the subscriptions to all these news outlets. This helps us continue to do the research, finance the show, etc. Because we don't do this for the money, but it sure as hell takes money to do this. All right, that's going to do it for us. Follow us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP, Michael Imhotep on Instagram. And we have our social media platforms, our handles at the top of our website. Remember, right now is correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Real quick, Michael, you had an announcement real quick. Go.
Yeah, join me Sunday, June 30th, 2024 for my new 10-week online course, Black Resistance Movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement, 1800 to 1968. Most importantly, we look at how we fought back against white supremacy and racism, the various ways we did that. Visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Register today, watch the class live or on demand. We'll see you in class.
All right, thanks a bunch. And again, folks, we'll see y'all tomorrow from the Poor People's Mass Assembly here in the nation's capital.
Join me Sunday, June 30th, 2024, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my new 10-week online history course, Black Resistance Movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement, 1800 to 1968. Visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. I'm historian and national political commentator Michael Imhotep. You see me on the African History Network show and Roland Martin Unfiltered, as well as a Reba Martin show on KBLA 1580 AM. This class looks at history chronologically from 1800 through 1968 to 1971. And we look at what leads up to the Civil War taking place. We look at the Reconstruction era, 1865, 1877, the Jim Crow era, World War I, World War II, Great Migration, Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement, and to get a better understanding of the different ways African Americans fought back against white supremacy and racism, how we fought back through armed resistance, how we fought back through economic empowerment and business ownership and the cooperative economics movement, how we fought back when it came to the labor movement and in the courts and legal strategies, court cases, etc. Visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can watch this class live or on demand. Your understanding of history is based upon your understanding of politics. Here and jump into the class right now, the online school, and start teaching the intro to the class. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Scroll down past the first online course that I teach, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understand the Transatlantic Slave Trade. You can still register for that class. But this new one right here, Black Resistance Movements, this really ties into the political climate, what we see going on in America right now, the backlash against diversity, equity, and inclusion, the resistance against any type of reparative justice or reparations, the attack on voting rights as well, the January 6, 2021 insurrection, which was political violence. All of this is what we see. The seeds of all this during this period of time from 1800 to 1970. Okay, so this 10-week online course, Black Resistance Movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement. You can register right here for it. Click right here, register for full course. It's on sale, $80. You can register for both classes. We have a bundle pack for $120. It's about a $300 value. There's going to be some bonus content. You're going to get my Juneteenth lecture free when you register for this new class as well, Black Resistance Movements. Okay, so visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com.